Hi myRockworld members, tonight we are in Olching and we are very honored to meet 170 Split, which is Leo Lyons, the original founding member of 10 Years After, and guitar player Joe Gooch, which played more than 10 years with 10 Years After, and Damon, which is the drummer, a very cool drummer. And the three guys formed the band some years ago, and 170 Split is now a band which plays their own music, their own songs. And as you may have known that Joe and Leo left 10 Years After just to straight ahead and keep forward to move to this new band. So for all the guys who don't know nothing about 170 Split, Leo, please tell us something, how the band came together and what is the goal, what you like to do with the band.
Well,
so a little bit of background.
It's quite simple really, it's to play the music that we enjoy and move forward. We left 10 Years After about a year ago because we felt it was the best thing to do. And that's what we're doing. I think we took the spirit of 10 Years After with us. I was the founding member anyway, so we do some 10 Years After material and our own material. And the sky's the limit, really. We do whatever we feel like doing. We try to change the set a little bit each time. People come to see us to keep it alive for the audience and for us. And we're having fun.
Very good. So after the first studio album, there is now, just some weeks ago, you released a new album, a live album, which is called...
That would be our third record.
The third record, yeah. Sorry, which is the third record, and it's a new live album. Great sound, great songs. Where was it recorded? Tell us a little bit about the live album. Maybe Joe, you start.
Yeah, well, it was recorded on a tour we did last year in November, I think, and it was recorded over a run of about 10 shows during that tour. We recorded all the shows, and then we picked the best of the bunch to make the record, and it's a good representation, you know, of the live show we do. It's a double CD. It's got some 10 Years After songs. It's got a lot of our songs on there. So yeah.
What can we expect from the shows tonight? So there will be 10 Years After songs too. Do you change this kind of 10 Years After song where you say, maybe we do some of them and we just improvise, or is it a fixed set list?
No, it's a framework of a set list because there are certain songs that people want to hear, and then we chop and change. We've got too many songs to play in any one show now, and tonight we'll be doing 2 sets, and I guess it'll run for a couple of hours. By which time a lot of people will be ready for bed, I'm sure, no matter how they're enjoying it. But so we chop and change the songs.
We hear about that you maybe play more than 2 hours. So
we do, yes. Sometimes depends how fast we play and how much I talk.
But this is
yes.
cool.
Well, the thing is, we kind of think, that would be a good song to do, and then we have a discussion about, I wouldn't want to drop that one, so the set gets longer. Yes.
When I first heard the band, it was when you played with Johnny Winter in Freising some years ago.
Yes.
And I had never heard the band, and I thought, oh my God, it's more a harder form, of harder blues rock, a heavy blues rock.
Yes.
Which remind me a little bit, first time, to some Humble Pie songs, earlier Humble Pie songs. Was it the goal when you founded the band that you play a heavy blues rock, more a heavy blues rock thing?
I don't think it was the goal, no. I think we just wanted to play what we enjoyed playing, and that's the way it turned out. Joe and I, as you know, played with 10 Years After. Joe for 11 years, me for maybe 55, something like that. I don't know. Seems like a long time, doesn't it?
It's never contrived. We never sit down with strict parameters and say we're going to do this or that or X or Y. We just play stuff, and stuff that feels good and works. And if it feels like it's going naturally, then we go with it. And at times it is eclectic. 10 Years After was always quite eclectic. They did blues, they did jazz, they did straight ahead psychedelic rock. Yeah. They did straight rock. You know, and I think that's kind of continued with this band. And there's songs we're doing now. We're doing I mean, we're doing a song we just put in the set. It was a song Leo and I wrote for 10 Years After about 8 years ago, called Tail Lights, which has a slightly country vibe to it. But it never turned out the way we wanted it. So now we're getting to actually play it again in the way it was probably meant to be played. So that's a nice thing. So you'll see a kind of reincarnation of songs that we wrote being put across in a truer way, I think. So
and it's a more intensive playing when you just have a trio instead of adding a keyboard or something.
Yes.
It's completely different. Yeah. So we have, let's say, a living legend. You were with Woodstock,
Yes.
so everybody who survived Woodstock, I have a lot of respect, because Woodstock was, for sure, a little bit much LSD and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, well, it was a movie too, and the movie captured the era, and that's what
I
made
think
it
so.
a
So
historical thing.
the question is, but to all of you three, where were your heroes that made you start a music career?
Leo?
Well, blues, country music I liked, and then went on to rock and roll. When rock and roll happened with Chuck Berry and Elvis and Eddie Cochran, people like that. Muddy Waters I liked, Hank Williams. Around about the 50s, I guess I started to become interested at the age of maybe 10 or 11. Became interested in music, and when I first heard the electric guitar, then that kind of fired me up, fired a lot of us up. Just about everybody, most of my contemporaries in the Stones and the Who and the Beatles, we all grew up on that kind of Little Richard, Elvis, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Joel?
Well, I think for me the earliest influences, it started with my parents' record collection, and that was eclectic. It was everything from Beatles to Supertramp, Steely Dan, bit of Hendrix, bit of I remember there was a 10 Years After record in there, all these things, they were the first things I listened to, and then I really got into Hendrix, and then from that, Zeppelin, Clapton, John Mayall actually was an early kind of blues influence. Just everything. Everything influences you in some way, but that was, I suppose.
Do you remember the first 10 Years After songs you have ever played or practiced to?
Well, funny enough, I've talked about this before, but I was never a massive fan of 10 Years After, and I'd seen the Woodstock film, but I'd never learnt any songs. The first time I actually went to learn one of their songs was when I had an opportunity to do an audition, so that's when I learned the songs for the first time. Yeah.
What was your way, or your drummers that made a music career, or other influences?
I think some of the first drummers that I was really into, drummers-wise, would be like Steve Gadd, Vinnie Colaiuta, guys like that. But that was after I'd been playing for a while. And I remember,
so more the groove drummers, more this kind of fusion and groove drummers.
All kinds. I still obviously enjoyed Buddy Rich and all the classics and that, and the jazz stuff. But definitely groove players as well.
Okay.
And all kinds of music. But I wasn't quite as lucky. But my parents' record collection was a bit smaller than Joe's, I think. And I remember Yes, Close to the Edge. I remember that. So I heard Bill Bruford very early on, and I remember Rod Stewart, Greatest Hits. So there was a lot of Vinnie, and I think not Vinnie, Carmine.
Mickey.
Carmine on drums,
Yes, that's right. So I spent a long time listening to those albums, and I think it's great, kind of straight, full-on sort of rock playing as well, which is great.
What are the plans for this year?
This year, we're scheduled to go to the States in July. In between now and November, when we do another extended tour, we'll be doing some odd festival dates and a few one-off dates in France and in Norway, and I'm sure somewhere else that I can't remember. But there's two main tours so far as Germany is concerned. Was this one we're doing now, and then in November. And we're writing for the next record. So
very good.
That's the plan.
So please catch up the new live album from 170 Split. It's called The Road. It's a double live album. We hope that it may come out on vinyl too someday.
We will do, yes. The thing is, it would be a four a 4-disc vinyl. So I think what we'll maybe do is do a 2-disc vinyl, if we can decide which songs we have to leave off, and then maybe do a download card.
Yeah.
That's the plan, and we may do that on the November tour, just a special edition run.
Oh, cool.
Because we all like vinyl. I love the sound of vinyl. I mean, the problem is distributors don't want to take so many because it takes up so much space, and mail outs, it costs so much money to mail it out. So ideally, you can sell it on gigs.
For us, it's the only way to enjoy music. Not just from the hearing, it's just also the haptic and everything, the song choosing. Oh, you know that because you grow up with this. As you're one of the bands who really tour a lot, and when you played with 10 Years After and you did also 107 split tours, it was 360 days on the road or something.
It was really, because sometimes it'll take a couple of days to get to one gig. So I think if you do 100 shows in a year, you may want to think about 200 days on the road.
That's it.
You know, that's how it works.
This brings us to the last question. Tell us a funny or a tour bus secret or something nobody knows about you.
Corey, now that is a difficult question. If I tell them, that everyone will know, won't they?
It wouldn't be a secret
it wouldn't be a secret anymore. No. I can't think of anything.
Sure.
I can't think of anything at all.
No, I'm not. There's nothing. There's nothing.
I've got one, but it's not really a secret. I started playing banjo. That was my first instrument.
Really?
Yes. Only because I couldn't afford a guitar.
This is cool. I didn't know that.
And
I didn't know that.
There was a banjo. My grandfather had a banjo, so I started to play banjo till I could buy a guitar.
But in the same expression, like you play the bass with this head up and down shaking?
I've always had a kind of a love of the banjo, bluegrass banjo. Although I don't have one at the moment. It was too noisy and too invasive for my wife. You know,
Cool.
But,
This is cool. Please, some last words from everybody to your friends.
Sorry, I thought.
Last cheers to your friends, please.
Okay, well, yeah, I'd like to say thank you very much to all the people that have supported us, come out and see us, and it's been really good. I think it was really good for us to leave 10 years after, because it released the brakes, it let us out of the box, and we do whatever we want to do now, and that really is what a musician has to do, I think. Otherwise, you don't grow. And you know, I'm really interested in improving my playing, just for my own satisfaction too. So yeah, it's good. We're having fun.
Just thanks to everyone for coming and all the support on the road, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Just thanks to everyone who's come on to see us on this tour, and it's great to see it building momentum and new fans at every show, and enthusiasm. And as long as that's there, we'll keep doing it. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great